Hello guys, welcome to Do-It-Yourself Car Guide. Today I'm here with an Alfa Romeo 33 and it's a 1.4 liter engine with 90 horsepower. It's a boxer engine, as you can see, and today I'm going to show you a quick fix. This car had an unstable idle and it didn't develop as much power as it should do, so I got around it. And the first things you need to check, of course, when you have an oscillating idle and it's rough and it's not developing as much power as it should, it feels like the engine is struggling. There are three main causes. There are timing issues, there are fuel issues, and there are, let me see if I can find a cable. Okay. There are ignition issues. Either you don't have enough fuel, either you have bad timing on the timing belt, a bad timing belt job, the timing belt has slipped off a tooth or something, or you don't have spark in the engine. So I'm gonna show you what the symptom is and we'll start from there. Let's go. Here we have the interior. This car just has 112,000 kilometers and we're gonna start it. For those of you who don't know, oh, sorry, forgot to plug in the battery. Uncut edition, errors to be seen, you'll know it. Let's just plug in the battery. This car has been sitting. It's always sitting for a while, and that's why it doesn't have the battery plugged in, so it doesn't get drained. So here we go. Can you hear it already? The engine is kind of rough. It's staying a long time. Can you see the shakiness? Don't know if it's gonna get on camera. It's shaking. I'm gonna show you. The idle is really high. It should have dropped a little bit by now. The engine is cold. It has been run for about 2 days. I've been working on it. I already know what the problem is, but I'm gonna show it to you. If you could smell it, you would smell that there is a raw gasoline smell. And can you see the engine? I don't know if it will capture, but it's shaking a lot. The car is shaking a lot, and it feels that it's not working as it should. You can feel the raw gasoline smell in the air. And now I'm gonna shut it off. Okay. And I'm gonna change the spark plug wire, because if you have a raw gasoline smell, you know there is no problem in fuel delivery, because there is gasoline that is not being burned. So there is a problem either with timing or with spark. I went the easy way and I checked right away for spark. And one of the things you can do is you can come here, take out the wire, leave it in a place where there won't be any problem. Let me just search a little bit, where there won't be the spark won't get any electrical component or damage anything. So the car is now going to work only in 3 cylinders. And I know that is the bad wire because I've already changed the spark plug wires, but I'm just illustrating the problem for you guys to see. So let's go. You can see that It's not the same noise, but it's kinda. You can go and leave the wire. We'll do it really quick. We can plug in the wire again. You can plug it back in. Be careful, don't unplug it while the car is running. I did that one time and you'll get a really nasty shock and you don't want that. But we can unplug. Let me just switch over my hand. We can unplug this wire right here from this cylinder and see. This is how you know which wire is bad and if there are bad wires. Let me just, goddamn, these wires are new. These spark plug wires are really tight when they are new and you can only pull on a certain part of it. Let me see if I can reach another one which is easier and we'll test that one out. This wire is pretty easy. Let me see if I can show you where it is. Can you see it? Yes, you can. So, you pull out one wire, leave it disconnected on some place where it won't hurt any electrical system, and you start the car again. You do this to every 4 wires, to every wire your car has. This is a 4-cylinder, you do it for all the 4. So we're trying to test to see if there is spark missing. So you unplug one and run the engine, unplug 2 and run the engine. When the engine has the same noise as it did with the 4 wires connected, but with one disconnected, you found the wire which is bad. Now I'm gonna start the engine and you're gonna see that the noise is really different. Now the engine is struggling because there is a cylinder which has been disconnected and there is another one which sometimes has spark and other times it doesn't have. So once you know that there is a spark problem, you should check for spark plugs. We're not checking for the spark plugs right away, and you should check in the first right away the spark plugs because it is the most obvious place where it could fail. There are a consumable in a car, and every 30,000 kilometers you have to change them, and you have to see their condition. Sometimes every 15,000 kilometers, every oil change you should check them to see if they are okay or not, and how your engine is burning or not. But I knew the spark plugs were new, so there could only be either the spark plug wires or the ignition coils. And if this was a car with a design of only one ignition coil, it would be easy to rule it out because the car wouldn't run, or it would run really poorly. But this car has 2 ignition coils. You see, here is the signal for one that feeds off 2 wires, and I'm gonna show it to you. Here is the signal for other 2. So this car is kind of easy to rule out a coil problem, because if there was a coil problem, these 2 spark plug wires and consecutively the spark plugs and the cylinders that they feed the spark wouldn't run. So the car would only run on 2 cylinders. And this is not the case. A car which runs on 2 cylinders doesn't have enough power just to to start and go, and it would really crank for a really long time and it wouldn't go. So this is a problem of only one cylinder is not getting enough spark, isn't getting consistent spark. So I got to that conclusion. I ordered the spark plug wires, I've changed them. Now I'm gonna take off the old one, which it was just here so I could show you the problem. And I'm gonna put in the new one. Plug it in and show you how the engine sounds when it has spark on all of the cylinders and it runs stable. So we plug it back in. be careful when you're dealing with spark plug wires. You need to grab them by here, not by here. You'll ruin them even if they are new, because you'll take off the insulation. So you be careful with that. There are some pliers sometimes that you can use that won't harm them, but yes. Now, the 4 cylinders will be fed spark consistently and normally, and you'll see that the engine is a lot smoother. It starts right away with just a touch of the key. We let it stabilize because there is deposits of those runs that were without spark in the cylinders. The spark plugs get a little bit fouled because of the gasoline, and you can hear in the noise that it has changed. You can see that the stick is wobbling, but it's not wobbling wildly, and the gasoline smell has disappeared. And this is the normal workings of a boxer engine. It's a racket, always. A boxer engine is always noisy, but now the engine is a lot more stable. It revs normally. It doesn't have any. It might have more problems. I've only recently started working on this car, but you can see the idle is going down. I'll rev it up a bit, and you can see that it wants to go. And the idle can go even below 1000 revs. So once the car warms up, the idle goes back to this place. I don't know, it might be 800 revs per minute, but the idle gets a lot smoother. The engine is a lot smoother, and there isn't any raw gasoline smell in the air. So this is a quick way. This is a video for you to diagnose your erratic idle or something. And in regards to spark plug wires, you now know how to test them. You remove each one. Let me just shut it off so you can hear me better. You can remove each wire separately and run the engine. Once the sound is similar to it with all wires connected, you know that wire is bad. And then you change all the wires, or maybe if you haven't seen the spark plugs, you must take them off and check them, because if there is a big gap in between the electrodes, it will cause the same problem. And a bad maintenance in regards to spark plugs can lead to bad plug wires, because it strains the system, and not only it damages the wires, it also damages the coils. So check your spark plugs often, take care of them, change them when they need to be changed, and your wires will last a long time. This wire, I'll try to show you, that was bad. The set of wires that was bad. The other 3 wires are okay, but once you change them all. They are still the original wires. So this is to show you that they can last a long time. This is a 1994 Alfa Romeo. It was the last year of production. This is an Imola one. I'm gonna show you that. You can see there. So these spark plug wires lasted a long time, but they are a maintenance item. Over their lifetime, they will fail. In the new vehicles that have spark plug coil packs, you will need to change the coil packs, and that's it. Now you know how to fix an erratic idle, either be it an Alfa Romeo or any vehicle, and you know how to diagnose the wires, the coils, because if the coil fails, it would fail both of the cylinders. If there is only one coil, and with one coil it will be harder because the engine might not run at all, and you'll need to go through a lot of stuff. But you can use a a spark plug tester, and you can attach a spark plug to the wire and run a cable to a ground, a good solid car ground, be it a chassis ground, be it the battery ground. You can run the wire. I'm gonna show you. No, I can't. I don't have my spark plug here. If there is if you don't have spark at all and you wanna see if you have spark or not, because the car won't start, you can take the wire off, the spark plug wire off. You can attach it to a spare spark plug, and you can on the thread of the spark plug you can wind a copper wire and ground it on the engine. You just need to ground it and then put it in a stable place away from any of the car electronics or sensors or anything, because it will ground and it will spark right away, and run the car. And have a friend crank the car over and you watch. Don't touch any of the wires, don't touch anything, because you'll get a shock, and this is a really nasty shock. It will make your hands move. I got one when my fist was, I was clenching my fist, and my pinky was like this when I got the shock. So, but I'm straighting away. So take that, put it in a safe place, ground it really well, and then have a friend crank over the engine and see if there is spark between the electrodes. But don't touch anything. Let it fall, let it go off, tell your friend to stop cranking, and then you touch it. If you touch it while it's cranking, you're gonna feel it, really, and it's gonna be really, really bad. So that is it, and I'll see you next time.